Short leg. Every time.
After weeks of turmoil in Cohutta, the town's mayor is stepping down. Why his resignation and what happens next for the town coming up. Plus, it's Ironman Day here in Chattanooga. Coming up, we'll tell you the road closures and the best routes around the city.
This is Local 3 News, Weekend Today.
Good morning, I'm Leah Bowling. A serious crash on Hickson Pike yesterday left one in critical condition. Chattanooga police tell us a motorcyclist and car crashed shortly before 2 o'clock yesterday. The rider is in the hospital with serious life-threatening injuries. Investigators are looking into the cause of the crash. The Tennessee Highway Patrol is releasing new information about the deadly crash on Highway 58 in Hamilton County. Investigators say a 26-year-old man driving a Hyundai Elantra southbound hit a stopped Freightliner truck near Harrison Friday. Troopers say the truck was stopped with its hazard lights on while preparing for delivery. Authorities say the driver of the Elantra was killed and the driver of the truck was not hurt. Over in Cohutta, Georgia, the mayor of 10+ years is stepping down from his position after rising tensions with residents and the town's police department. According to town officials, Ron Shinnick submitted a formal letter of resignation Friday. Shinnick fired the town's police force at the beginning of May after, quote, inappropriate social media comments about his wife. City Council had to reinstate the department during an emergency session 2 weeks ago. Town leaders say they are now working to fill Shinnick's vacancy. There will be another emergency meeting on Wednesday at the town hall, and we'll be there and bring you the latest details. Let's see what's going on outside this morning. Thousands of people are in the Scenic City for the Ironman. Lots of people getting outside today, Tiffany.
They are, and if you're not a fan of the hotter weather, since we're forecasting 90s today, get out early, get out this morning, get out for your early morning walk or run because those temperatures are going to rise pretty quickly today. We're looking at a pretty sunrise all across the Tennessee Valley. This is Dalton, Georgia, early on this Sunday, and temperatures are running anywhere from 2 to about 9 degrees warmer than where we were at this time yesterday morning. So if you thought it was mild yesterday morning, look at the numbers right now. In Dalton, we're at 59, 60 in Chattanooga, 57 in Cleveland, same for Dayton, 56 Blue Ridge, 53 in Murphy, and 60 degrees in Scottsboro. Here is that Ironman 70.3 forecast. Now, all age groups are starting right around now, but if you're watching us and you're going to be cheering someone on, if you're going to be a spectator later on this afternoon, make sure you lather on the sunscreen and bring the sunglasses because we're going to be heating up pretty quickly. By noon, we're already in the lower 80s, highs around 90, 91 degrees today. Humidity levels come up a little bit. Yesterday, they were pretty low. You'll notice maybe it feeling a little bit more sticky today, and then it'll be more on the humid side as we head into next week as the rain chances increase as well. So we have a lot going on in the next 7 days. We'll break it all down for you coming up in a little bit. Leah, back to you.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Dalton Police Department is reminding Georgia drivers of the Yellow Dot program, a free safety initiative aimed at helping first responders in medical emergencies. The program signals to emergency crews that important medical information is kept inside the vehicle, including conditions, medications, and allergies. Officials say that quick access to those details can help paramedics and first responders deliver more effective treatment on the scene. Those interested in obtaining a yellow dot information packet can contact 706-278-9085. All right, if you're headed to downtown Chattanooga this morning, prepare for major traffic disruptions tied to the Ironman 70.3. Roads around Riverfront Parkway, Broad Street, Amnicola Highway, and St. Elmo will see closures or limited access throughout the day as athletes move through the swim, bike, and run portions of the race.
Take the interstate and take Highway 27. If you want to make sure that you avoid all the closures, if you take either of those through downtown, you will escape any of the major closures that might delay you.
Delays will start early this morning and into the evening. Spectators are encouraged to use downtown parking garages and the city's free electric shuttle. All right, let's take a live look from the Ironman. This is in the Ironman Village. We got lots of spectators there cheering on their loved ones. We know the swim start is about a mile up the river there, and there's a rolling start around 7 o'clock, different times depending on groups. So those athletes will be making their way down the river and getting out right here near Ross's Landing to hop on their bikes and then eventually start that run. I mean, wow, these athletes are absolutely incredible, and this event brings so many people to our city, and we just want to welcome everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. It's a great city to be a part of, and we wish everyone the best of luck today. When we come back, a major Supreme Court decision is igniting protests nationwide, why some civil rights advocates say the ruling could reshape political power and change the future of election maps. Thousands of people participated in protests across the country yesterday over voting rights. The main rally happening in Alabama, the birthplace of the civil rights movement. Jen Sullivan explains the controversial U.S. Supreme Court ruling and what it could mean for states' congressional maps.
Can you say the power is with the people?
Thousands of people participating in protests in Alabama Saturday, outraged over a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling that could severely weaken the votes of black people and other minorities across the country.
Now more than ever, this is a movement moment, not a partisan moment, but a movement moment for our democracy.
When we fight!
The rally, dubbed All Roads Lead to the South. Protesters first marching over the famous Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, just as civil rights activists did in 1965 on Bloody Sunday, when armed police attacked unarmed activists.
If it takes another 60.
Then a rally held outside the state's Capitol building in Montgomery,
Senator Cory Booker!
drawing high-profile Democratic leaders. In 2022, the Louisiana legislature adopted a new congressional map, but a lawsuit accused the map of diluting black votes. The state drew a new map, creating a second black majority congressional district. But then that map was also challenged. Last year, the case went to the U.S. Supreme Court, where last month, 6 of the justices ruled the new map was unconstitutional.
I think that the Supreme Court has finally taken race out of redistricting, which we've been saying all along.
The ruling has made it easier to scuttle majority-minority districts in other areas, and many Republican-led states have started redrawing their voting maps. Many worry the ruling will lower minority representation at all levels of government. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, after months at sea, USS Gerald R. Ford is back in Norfolk. Coming up, the moments families have been waiting for and why it's an emotional homecoming. A man and a child are dead, and another child is recovering after a train crash in Alabama. It's not clear what led to the collision, but the rail crossing does not have stop arms, only stop and rail crossing signs. One witness says even after the crash, it took several minutes for the train to come to a stop.
I guess the car didn't see the train coming or tried to beat it across, and the train, it was going about 65 miles an hour and just split the car in half. But I saw the guy behind me. He got out of his car. He called him, and he ran across with another guy to see if they could get across. But it took a good 5-10 minutes for the train to stop, so they couldn't even get over there.
The victims' names have not been released. An investigation is underway into the crash. Two passengers are being monitored for hantavirus in Georgia. They've been moved to Nebraska for quarantine. The two unidentified people were among dozens evacuated from a cruise ship due to an outbreak. The University of Nebraska Medical Center said the two passengers were under care at an Atlanta hospital, but have now been medically cleared. Although they do not require ongoing treatment, they are still being monitored. As of Friday, at least 41 people across the U.S. are being monitored in relation to the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak. Senate Republicans are working to redraft legislation to fund President Trump's ballroom. The development comes after Republican and Democratic aides met this week with the Senate parliamentarian to debate whether the funding is allowed under Senate budget rules. Senate Republicans want to give the Secret Service $1 billion to shore up security for the ballroom. The funding is tucked inside an immigration and border enforcement package. A Republican aide says no official ruling was made, but they're working on modifications based on the feedback. However, it is a sign they are trying to advance the proposal through the Senate's reconciliation process, which requires a simple majority to pass. The New York Times and other media outlets report the Trump administration is considering setting up a $1.7 billion fund to compensate allies who claimed they were wrongfully investigated by a weaponized Justice Department under the Biden administration. In exchange for the establishment of the fund, Trump reportedly would drop legal actions against the federal government. They include a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS for the 2019 leak of his tax returns by a contractor, and $230 million he's seeking for investigations into his handling of classified documents after leaving office and his first presidential campaign's potential ties to Russia. The settlement might include the IRS agreeing to drop audits of Trump and his businesses. The proposed fund has raised questions of conflict of interest and self-dealing. The Justice and Treasury Departments and the IRS have not commented publicly on the reports. In Norfolk, Virginia, a heartfelt story. The USS Gerald R finally returned home yesterday. And with that came emotional family reunions, and for some families, an introduction to new family members. Erin Hawley has more.
Wait, I see him.
You see it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
No other feeling in the world I can compare it to. It's first time for everything.
A first time for everything.
This baby's a blessing. Oh my God, like his daddy.
And Saturday marked almost 5-month-old Santiago's first time meeting his dad, Ford sailor Omar Mora.
Hey, my two sailors.
80 newborn children were held by their fathers, most for the very first time.
Mora says he missed many big milestones in the 326 days he was deployed, one of them being the biggest. On day 201 of his deployment, his first child was born.
I think the birth is the most thing that kind of got me. You know, so it's something you always want to be there for, especially the way I was raised up traditionally.
Santiago's mom and grandmother say it wasn't easy back home either.
Oh, it's emotional. You know, he watched him grow up on FaceTime for the first 4 months, on FaceTime pictures every day, you know. Him not being there for the birth, you know, is kind of very heartbreaking to have him miss especially his first child's birth.
While Mora says his time on the Ford was filled with challenges.
In the moment, it is going to suck. Everything's not good. At the end of the day, all the tribulations are worth it.
Those tribulations that he endured.
And I wish I did get to meet him when he was first born, but I wouldn't change it for the world. He's my little dude.
All brought him to this moment where he got to finally hold baby Santiago.
Let's go outside. It's going to heat up today, right, Tiffany?
It really is, Leah. We're talking about our first 90-degree day of the year, and our average high reaches 90 late June. So we're about a month ahead of schedule if we do hit 90 today, and I think we have a good chance of doing that. This is what it looks like out of Cleveland, Tennessee. A beautiful start on your Sunday morning. If you want to get out and beat the heat, now is the time to do it. If you want to get that early morning workout in, it's 57 in Cleveland, 57 in Dayton, 55 in Blue Ridge, 59 in Lafayette, and 62 degrees in Altamont. Satellite and radar showing that things are quiet across the Tennessee Valley. There's a strong storm system bringing showers and storms to parts of the plains and the Midwest. That is where the severe weather threat will be today. There's a level 3 out of 5 out west there with tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds all possible. But notice the Storm Prediction Center has now drawn a marginal risk across parts of the Tennessee Valley. This is a level 1 out of 5, so it's the lowest threat level. If we can get storms to develop with the increase in heat and humidity today, then there's a chance these storms may turn strong to severe with maybe some small hail and some damaging wind gusts. Overall, this is going to be an isolated event as most of you will stay dry, hot, and a little bit sticky today. High temperatures again around 90 degrees, and you can see this computer model popping up these showers and thunderstorms in sort of a random pattern here with that heat and humidity. I think this is kind of overdoing the coverage. I don't think we're going to see as much on the radar. If you have any outdoor plans today, don't cancel them. Just keep an eye on the sky and download the Local 3 weather app. There you can track any thunderstorm development. High temperatures today around 91 in Chattanooga, 91 in Cleveland, 90 in Dayton, 86 Blue Ridge, and 89 degrees in Lafayette. Unlike yesterday, humidity levels come up a little bit this afternoon, but you'll really start to notice that increase as we head into next week. Tonight, we drop down into the middle 60s, a mild start as you're heading back to work tomorrow, and then another hot day, Monday, Tuesday, highs around 90, just a slight chance for a stray shower storm, but look at those rain and storm chances really going up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and potentially lingering into Saturday, and we could get a couple inches of rain out of these systems. It looks like a front will stall across the region for several days, and that'll bring us some heat relief as temperatures drop out in the 90s and into the 80s. Leah?
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Up next, Tennessee tries to pull out the brooms in Oklahoma City. Could the Vols wrap up the regular season with a win? Find out after the break. And we're nearing the completion of the St. Jude Dream Home. The house is in the Lake Breeze subdivision in Harrison. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, worth more than $500,000, and it could be yours. Be sure to get your ticket for the drawing. Go to dreamhome.org, call 1-800-750-6962, or scan the QR code.
Good morning. We're looking at high temperatures that could potentially reach 91. The record in Chattanooga is 93. It's going to be close. There could be a few pop-up showers and storms later today, but chances are quite low. I think most of us just hot and a little bit sticky. 90 tomorrow and Tuesday, and then rain and storm chances start to increase next week as those moisture levels and humidity levels increase as temperatures drop back down into the 80s.
The Vols overcame a 3-0 deficit against Oklahoma on Friday. The only problem is the game was suspended due to weather. So even though Tennessee had a 5-3 lead at the time of the pause, they still needed 7 outs to finish the job. And they did on Saturday. Brandon Arvidsson locked things down to help Big Orange earn the series win over the Sooners. So Josh Elander and co trying to sweep an SEC opponent for just the second time this season. But once again, not a great start. The Vols opting for a bullpen game with typical Game 3 starter Landon Mack still dealing with that arm soreness. OU puts up 6 runs in the first. Then Tennessee's bats start to wake up. Levi Clark cuts into the deficit in the second inning. Rockets his 13th long ball of the season, this one to left center field, make it 6-2. Let's jump to the 5th. Oklahoma up 9-5 when Baylor grad Henry Ford does what he does best, smashes the ball to left field, his second dinger of the weekend, team leading 18th of the year. That is UT within 3. Big Orange keeps chipping away. How about a 4-hit day for Reese Chapman? The Vols get as close as 2 runs, but ultimately they come up just short, falling 12-9. Tennessee wraps up the regular season with a .500 SEC record, winning 3 of their last 4 series against conference foes.
Our guys just staying in the fight. That's what I wanted to see, and especially this last game right here. It could have been super exciting, really just laid down, but I liked how they continue to compete and fight back there and get it within 1 swing there late. At any point, our guys, they need to have the confidence, regardless of what the score is, they have the ability to come back, and then some guys, when they get on the mound, just need a little bit better tempo, a little bit better pace, and those guys need to set the tone for us.
The Vols will be the 10th seed in the SEC tournament. Tennessee will take on 15th seeded South Carolina on Tuesday in Hoover at 5:30. Over on Rocky Top, the Lady Vols were hosting Virginia in the Knoxville Regional, and Tennessee wastes no time getting on the board. First 2 batters reach. Then on the 5th pitch of the game, freshman Elsa Morrison smokes a ball to the right center field wall. Alana Leach, originally called out at the plate, ruled safe upon further review. So it's an immediate 2-0 lead for UT. They're up 5-0 after 1 second inning. Sage Margetko finishes the frame with a K. And while the Who's get on the board in the 3rd with a 3-run jack, Emma Clark answers right back in the bottom half. Drills one off of the scoreboard to make it 6-3 Tennessee. But the Cavaliers continue to claw. This is a 1-run game in the 6th inning when Mackenzie Butt provides some much-needed insurance, crushes a ball to left field. The Lady Vols are back in front by a pair. Carlin Pickens comes on in relief and shuts the door in the 7th. Tennessee wins 7-5 and advances to the regional final for a 5th consecutive year. That does it for your morning sports. Have a great day and a great rest of your weekends.
Raccoon Mountain residents say life without running water has become a daily struggle. When we come back, what neighbors are now asking from the city.
This is Local 3 News, Weekend Today.
Good morning, Tennessee Valley, and thanks again for starting your morning here with us on Local 3 News Weekend Today. I'm Leah Bowling. A Putnam County jury has sentenced 2 men to life without the possibility of parole in connection to a 2024 shooting of a Tennessee state trooper. Timothy Davis Jr. and Braze Rucker were convicted earlier this year for their roles in the incident on I-40. Investigators say Trooper Adam Cothran was shot while conducting a traffic stop and left along the interstate shoulder before the suspects fled the scene. The 2 men were sentenced to life without parole on attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer, along with additional consecutive prison terms for other felony convictions. Officials say this marks the first time in Tennessee that life without parole has been imposed for attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. Chattanooga firefighters responded to a small fire yesterday at the AMD milling facility on King Street. Firefighters say they found the fire on the 4th floor caused by flour piled near an electrical motor. Crews disconnected power to the motor and quickly put the fire out with no injuries reported. The Tennessee Division of Forestry says burn ban permits are no longer required across the state through October 14th. The state requires free burn permits each year during wildfire season from October 15th through May 15th, when dry conditions make fires more likely to spread. Officials are still urging people to use caution when burning outdoors and to check for any local burning restrictions. All right, well, it is going to be hot today. We could reach 90 degrees. Let's check in with Tiffany. Good morning.
Good morning, Leah. Yes, can you believe it? We typically see our average high in the 90s at the end of June, so a little early this year to see 90s, but it's certainly possible today as we heat things up thanks to an area of high pressure expanding across the Tennessee Valley. And we're taking a live look out of our Chattanooga camera. This is the ridge cut and the sun is shining. We do have some clouds out there. We will see plenty of sunshine today. Temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s. It's a mild start already. It's 60 in Chattanooga, 57 in Cleveland and Athens, 59 in Dayton, 55 Murphy, 60 in Scottsboro, and 63 degrees in Altamont. Now, if you're looking for something to do today, the Chattanooga Market, they're having an ice cream social from 11 to 4. That's certainly a way to beat the heat. Make the kiddos happy. Temperatures will be in the 70s this morning, later on this morning. By noon, we're in the lower 80s, and then we're looking at high temperatures right around 90, 91 degrees late in the day. So the earlier you go, probably better as far as the heat is concerned. There will be a light southerly breeze. Humidity levels come up a little bit compared to yesterday, but they go up even more as we head into next week as an active pattern starts to develop across the Tennessee Valley. That spells rain and storm chances, and we certainly need the rain. So we'll talk more about that coming up in a little bit. Leah, back to you.
So much, Tiffany. Raccoon Mountain residents say they are out of water and need help from the city of Chattanooga. Lydia Nathan brings us this story.
Every week, 74-year-old Bill Haley has to fill up this portable water tank, which takes up 3 to 4 trips into this 1,000-gallon holding tank just to feed into their house. Haley and his wife say this is not a sustainable way to live.
Would you buy a house without water? I mean, really, who do you think would buy a house without water?
For more than 20 years, Bill and Karen Haley have called Raccoon Mountain home.
What you hear now is pretty much a typical day of what we hear, and the birds and whatnot, so has a lot of country feel to it.
The Haleys tell me they bought the home in 2006, knowing the property ran on a well. While that worked fine for years, the Haleys say their well collapsed not once, but twice.
And wells are not inexpensive. In January of 2024, coldest week of the year, the well collapsed.
They tell me they are not the only neighbors who have had this issue on Raccoon Mountain. Bill and Karen have been working closely with Chattanooga Councilman Chip Henderson on a solution with a $3.5 million price tag. Henderson presented that solution to City Council on Tuesday.
So where's the money coming from? Well, I'm glad you asked. The money will be coming from use of property, and that's a fancy term for interest on money in the bank.
Some council members expressed concerns about using the large amount of money for just 12 homes and 100 acres.
You were not in support of for the tax increase, right? But now you come before us now asking to have use of that money that you did not support.
The Haleys say it would be an investment for the Raccoon Mountain community and the city of Chattanooga.
It's kind of like putting a plant in. You know, you put it and then you come back and the return gets bigger and bigger.
A fire truck will come up here, but there's no hydrants up here. If we had an emergency, they would have to use a tanker to bring water up here. And how efficient is that going to be?
For now, Bill and Karen will have to continue paying Tennessee American Water Company to use a hydrant nearby for all their water needs, the task that they say takes hours to do several times a week. The City Council will vote on this on Tuesday, May 19th. We'll keep you updated on air and online. Reporting on Raccoon Mountain, Lydia Nathan, Local 3 News.
Well, as schools let out for summer and temperatures rise, McMinn County schools are offering free summer meals for children. The program provides free lunches for kids ages 2 through 18 and will be served every Thursday in June from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Officials say no registration is required for families to participate. Food Distribution Fridays are returning this summer at Sequoia High School. The program will run every Friday through May 29th through July 3rd from 7 a.m. to noon. Organizers say the distribution will be drive-through style and no paperwork or registration is required. Children do not need to be present and meals are available for all kids under 18 even if they're not enrolled in the school system. Each week's menu includes breakfast and lunch options along with fresh fruits, vegetables, juice boxes, and gallons of milk. The event will be rain or shine. Sequatchie County schools are warning parents about a phone scam impersonating one of its phone lines. Officials say the school's landline number appears to have been spoofed in calls prompting Medicare-related information. School officials say the calls did not come from the school system and urge families to not share any personal or financial information with unknown callers. Coming up, a look at the latest recalls and what you need to know if they're in your home. And as we head to break, let's take a live look at that Ironman competition. Ooh, you see them in the water there. Here they go. 30 minutes ago, they hopped in the water. There's a rolling start, so they've been released in groups, but it looks like some of those people are getting out at Ross's Landing, and then they'll go to a bike after that, and then the run portion comes after that. And we just want to welcome everyone to the city. Thanks for being here, and we wish everyone the best of luck today. Let's get you caught up on some recalls. You may want to check your freezer. Strauss Family Creamery's organic ice cream has been recalled because it may contain metal fragments. The impacted flavors include vanilla bean, strawberry, cookie dough, Dutch chocolate, and mint chip. They were sold in either pints or quarts. The Best By dates range from December 23rd through December 30th. The FDA says they were distributed to stores in 17 states and have been on shelves since May 4th. No injuries have been reported. Consumers should throw away the ice cream and contact the company for a replacement voucher. Blackstone Products has recalled some of its Parmesan Ranch seasoning because they may be contaminated with salmonella. The company says the products contain powdered milk that was recalled earlier this year. The recall includes 3 lots of the seasoning products sold nationwide at Walmart and on the Blackstone website. The Best By dates range from July 2nd, 2027 through August 12th, 2027. Consumers are advised to throw the seasoning away and contact the company for a replacement. No illnesses have been reported. Zwilling is recalling more than 113,000 electric water kettles that could cause burns. The problem is the handles in the effigy kettles. They could loosen and come off. There have been several reports of that happening, with one incident leading to a burn. The company says owners should stop using the kettles immediately. Zilling.com/kettle-recall has instructions for how owners can obtain a refund. More than 125,000 Cozyland Children's Tower stools have been recalled. Regulators say they can collapse or tip, and a child's torso can fit through the openings. At least 8 injuries have been reported, ranging from scrapes to a broken arm. The affected stools are natural bamboo or gray and 35 inches tall. They were sold on Amazon between April 2021 and November 2025 for about $70. The company will mail a repair kit to customers. A recall has been issued for a cream that treats eczema. The Food and Drug Administration says the product may be contaminated with spat bacteria, Pharmacal. The company that makes MG217's multi-symptom treatment cream and skin protectant eczema cream issued the recall last week. The recall affects 1 lot of the 6-ounce cream with an expiration date of November 2026. The product was sold in retail stores and online. Pharmacal says it hasn't received any reports of any issues with the product. Even so, people should discontinue use and throw it away. When we come back, from a childhood observation to national recognition, how one teen is being honored for protecting local waterways. And we're nearing the completion of the St. Jude Dream Home. The house is in the Lake Breeze subdivision in Harrison. There it is, it's gorgeous. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, worth more than $500,000, and it could be yours. Be sure to get your ticket for the drawing. Go to dreamhome.org, call 1-800-750-6962, or scan the QR code.
Watch the Chattanooga Football Club's rise to MLS Next Pro. Go behind the scenes for the pivotal moments in the CFC's remarkable journey. Watch Chattanooga versus All Y'all, Sunday night at 11:30 on Local 3.
A Chattanooga teen is making a difference along our waterways, receiving several nationwide awards. Michelle Herron has the story.
The picturesque views of the Tennessee River are part of the reason why this area is called the Scenic City. But a closer look reveals the downside: trash. Cash Daniels was 7 years old when he noticed the problem, often left behind by humans, and started holding cleanup events to make the waterways cleaner. His efforts have removed more than 46,000 pounds of trash from the Tennessee River.
When I was out on all my cleanups and I kept finding fishing line stuck in trees or just on the ground, I knew I had to do something about that, because I have personally seen animals entangled in fishing line, like turtles, fish, things like that. So I knew I had to do something about that.
Cash started Lines of Hope to specifically address the fishing line problem. The idea is simple, yet effective.
And the fishermen just put their line in here, and it goes into the storage compartment, I would call it, and it's just a 2-foot piece of PVC.
Cash has partnered with park officials to install 160 collection bins along fishing piers and boat docks in 6 states and hopes to expand to more in the future.
We all need to learn to take better care of our planet.
The 16-year-old also takes his conservation efforts on the road, speaking at conventions and summits across the nation. His work has earned him recognition and awards, highlighting a growing interest in youth activism.
Kids may be a small part of the population, but we are 100% of the future.
Turning today's passion into tomorrow's better future. With this week's Making a Difference, I'm Michelle Herron.
Keeping our city gorgeous. I love that story. And speaking of gorgeous, it's going to be a great day to get outside. It could be a little warm though. Good morning, Tiffany.
It could be. Good morning, Leah. Great day to get out on the water and do some fishing, but to properly dispose of your line there. Great story of that boy really making a difference. Taking a live look out of our Chattanooga camera. This is the ridge cut, the sun shining bright. It's going to be a hot day today. I think we'll get up into the 90s for the first time this year. Not there quite yet. We're in the 50s and 60s, but if you're looking to beat the heat, now is the time to do it. So if you want to get in that outdoor workout, get outside now or in the next few hours before temperatures really start to shoot up. Satellite and radar showing that we did have some clouds across the Tennessee Valley. Those are in the process of moving off to the east and clearing out. All the active weather back to our west as a stronger storm system will likely spark off more severe weather across portions of the Midwest and the Central Plains. But a new update over the past 24 hours is that the Storm Prediction Center has now included Chattanooga and areas to the east, including North Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and western North Carolina in a level 1 risk for an isolated severe thunderstorm. That's if we get these storms to develop. There's a low chance of that happening, but if it does, some of these storms could be on the stronger side and they could contain some small hail and some gusty winds. Notice our computer model starts to pop these storms up anytime after 3-4 o'clock. I think this computer model a little robust, a little bit active with the activity later on today. Don't think we're going to see this much activity on the radar. And I wouldn't cancel any of your outdoor plans because most areas will stay dry. However, just keep an eye on the sky. Download the Local 3 weather app. That's a good tool, and it'll be able to track any rain and thunderstorms for you. As we get into this evening, any activity will start to dissipate after sunset. If you're going to the Lookouts baseball game as they take on Pensacola, last game of the series, it's going to be a hot one. Stay hydrated, bring the sunscreen and the sunglasses as temperatures will be in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees with just a light breeze, not offering much relief there. 91 in Chattanooga for a high temperature today, 91 in Cleveland, 90 in Athens, 88 in Murphy, 85 Fort Payne, and 84 degrees in Altamont. Your allergy forecast, grass and tree pollen in that high category today, mold and weeds in that low to medium category, and we may get some allergy relief as we head into next week. With the increasing rain chances, could knock some of that pollen out of the air, which would certainly be good for a lot of you allergy sufferers. I know I'm one of them. Your storm alert 7-day forecast showing that we keep it in the 90s Monday, Tuesday. Humidity increases. It's going to feel more like summer. And then rain and storm chances increasing. We desperately need the rain, so bring it on as temperatures drop out of the 90s and into the 80s.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. If you're looking to get out of the house today, here's a few things happening around the Tennessee Valley. It's a great day to eat in our area. The Chattanooga Market is an ice cream social from Clumpies. This year's theme is cookies versus cakes in support of the Down syndrome community of Greater Chattanooga. The market is today from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at First Horizon Pavilion with free admission. Also, if you haven't tried any yet, it's Pizza Week with $14 pizza deals throughout the city. There are 18 participating restaurants featuring pizzas and lunch specials. Today is the last day. Also, today is Senior Day at the Chattanooga Lookouts game against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Fans ages 55 and older can attend for free with a claimed ticket at the box office. The first 1,000 attendees will also receive a complimentary seat cushion. First pitch is set for 1 o'clock. And you can find more details and information on all of these events and more listed on our website's community calendar at local3news.com. Summer evenings on the river are making a comeback in downtown Chattanooga. TVFCU Riverfront Nights returns May 23rd. That's next Saturday, featuring live music, lawn games, and local food vendors along the riverfront. Organizers say the event offers a relaxed, family-friendly way to enjoy Saturday nights throughout the summer. Attendees are encouraged to bring lawn chairs and spend the season enjoying live entertainment by the river. Well, here's a fun story. More than 150 student teams converged on Talladega Superspeedway for the Green Power US, a national championship over this weekend that tests engineering and driving skills. The event caps a season of 17 regional races on a growing circuit, but don't let the racetrack fool you. Green Power is really a STEM program where students design and build their own electric cars and then see what they can get out of them on the asphalt.
We design a lot of the stuff, we 3D print things, and we also design parts for our cars over here, and we use that.
It's always fun, it's a lot of hands-on, you get to learn a lot. It's new experiences, and it's just a good life lesson.
I'm gonna put it to good use whenever I start racing for real. I plan on racing in a Rush SR series around 2028, 2029, so I'll probably use that there.
The Green Power program serves students from 4th grade through college. The nonprofit organization set a record this year with 25,000 miles raced over the course of the season. When we come back, Jeremy Roth recaps this week's craziest stories and take a look at this week. A motorcycle hanging from a traffic light and a sun rises but doesn't set. Jeremy Roth takes a look back at this week's weirdest and wildest headlines, and take a look at this week.
Take a look at the week we had. A pair of suspected arsonists planned to set a Michigan cannabis dispensary on fire, blew up right in their faces, and it was all caught on camera. Surveillance video showed the suspects using a vehicle to smash their way into the business, then pouring what appeared to be gasoline throughout the store. Moments later, a huge fireball spooked the pair and caught the clothes of one on fire. The pair then fled, feet a-flamin', into the night. Police are searching for the suspects, and the case is under investigation. Motorists in Canada were no doubt puzzled by the surreal sight of a motorcycle left dangling from a traffic light in Metro Vancouver. Delta Police said it was the aftermath of a collision between the motorcycle and another vehicle and said speed was definitely a factor in the crash. CTV reports the driver of the bike was left with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The car's driver was uninjured. In California, no good deed went unpunished as a researcher on the roof of the San Jose City Hall was